Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So, today we are going to talk about transpersonal psychotherapy, and for that, I have with me an expert who is only a transpersonal psychotherapist. That is Anamika Das, all the way from Kolkata. Hi, Anamika. How you are doing?
Hi, Sradhanjali. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good, and thank you for coming up for giving me your time. And we are going to explore more about transpersonal psychotherapy and spirituality. So I'm looking forward for
Sure,
this.
sure, sure.
Okay,
It's
so
my pleasure that I'm being hosted by you.
my pleasure. So Anamika, I just want to know the very basic that why transpersonal psychotherapy? There are so many other therapies also, but why only this?
Right. So, my fascination towards, so I'll just start off with what is actually transpersonal psychology to make the audience more relatable to it. So, transpersonal psychology is something wherein the spirituality and psychology merges together, right? And that is what we call transpersonal psychology. Trans means something which is beyond an individual state of mind, right? So that is how the transpersonal psychotherapy came into being. Now when you talk about my interest and how I got interested in transpersonal psychotherapy, so first of all, I had my own experiences towards spirituality, and मेरा बहुत experiences transpersonal experiences रहे हैं मेरी life में. I am a tarot reader as well at the same time. I follow spiritual practices. I am also a certified yoga instructor. Um, I am also a meditation coach as well. Throughout my life, throughout my teenage years, I have seen the possibilities of how spirituality and psychology together can merge and provide that holistic healing. So that is, and in India, I have always felt that since that ki westernized approaches आए हैं India में, I feel that the spirituality part of the holistic healing is already, somewhere, going down, and it's hiding under the carpet. So that bridge, the gap that is there between psychology and spirituality is something that intrigued me. And this is why I am just into the field of exploring transpersonal psychotherapy, and that is where my interest lies.
Okay, yes, I got the clarity about transpersonal. So I just want to know one more thing. Like there are so many traditional psychotherapeutic approaches. So what exactly is the differentiation between this? Like how people can differentiate? Okay, this is transpersonal psychotherapy, and this is other modalities on psychotherapeutic approaches.
Right. So, transpersonal psychotherapy differs slightly from traditional, approaches. Acknowledging that in westernized approach, for example CBT, right, or DBT, SFBT, we do use mindfulness techniques, right? That is also part of transpersonal psychology, right? But transpersonal in general focuses on holistic wellness. So for example, there's ये बहुत छोटा सा example है, जैसे when we talk about traditional psychotherapies, they talk about emotional healing, mental, physical, and emotional, all the three aspects, right, and behavioral. But when we talk about transpersonal, बस एक aspect add हो जाता है, that is of the spiritual. So we focus on all the major four aspects, which is also physical in nature, behavioral in nature, mental and physical, and spiritual in nature. So that is the basic difference. But when we talk about the Indian context specifically, in India, it seems incredibly natural to talk about transpersonal psychotherapy, uh, because spirituality in India has its separate base, and it is kind of a way of life here. And we have always been introduced with the concepts of atman, or the atma, the concept of karma, right, and the moksha, the three concepts, right? So These also reflect deep psychological truths that have been part of our culture since since ages now. So this is where it all lies, that not a major difference, but it just adds on to that spiritual aspect, spiritual realm towards the whole experience that people that we are going to get give people as well. Yeah.
Okay. So as far as I understand, it's more of a spirituality and religious belief. So from here, I want to ask you one more question, that how do you incorporate, like how do you practically incorporate spiritual practice with your client in your session without imposing beliefs or religious belief in your clients?
Right, right, right. So as we all know that religious is a very diversified area in India, right? There are different kind of religions, but what we need to understand here is religion is very different and spirituality is very different. uh, Religion has a lot of rules and regulations towards it, but when we talk about spirituality, everybody has their own experience, own human experiences towards these things. Now when we talk about inculcating these practices over people who are religiously different in their cultures, and their religions are very different, uh, it kind of helps. It is always helpful that we first give them a psychoeducation on what is spirituality in general, basically, and how it is differing from the religious aspect of it. So for example, we can start off with normal mindfulness or visualization and psychoeducation towards what spirituality actually is, or maybe we can start exploring on what is their take, what is the client's take on spirituality, right? And it will definitely differ. It has differed. Talking about my client base, it has definitely differed when people share their experiences towards spirituality rather than going forward with the religious aspect of the whole thing, right? So we have to, as a therapist, I think it's our responsibility to just separate it out for the client and help the, or if the client is not able to do so himself, it's our responsibility to help the client to understand the basic difference so that he or she becomes more open towards it. So psychoeducation definitely helps a lot when it comes to that, and exploring what spirituality means to the client is something which is a icebreaker for us to know where the sessions will be going in the future as well.
Okay. So, one more question, like there are clients who are very skeptical about spirituality. So, how, as a transpersonal psychotherapist, you handle such clients?
Right. So, for example, as we talked about the religious background as well, like, there are a lot of people who are also not very much comfortable or consider themselves as an atheist, right? Or, not very much comfortable about, getting into spirituality or talking about spirituality in general, right? So, the best part, what I feel could be done here is getting to their level and understanding what is their language which they can resonate with when it comes to spirituality, right? For example, so for example, we can just simply start off with a visualization activity. We can start off with a mindfulness activity, inculcating some forms of arts, right? Or we can talk about a deeper existential meanings in the life of the client which he or she holds. So that is where we can start off with the conversation. So it's basically that, not assuming that the client will know everything about spirituality. It's basically that assuming that the client doesn't know anything, and it's your responsibility to make him or her understand on where he or she wants to get into, or what she or he wants to go towards. So that is one thing. And I think at the end of the day, it's not about forcing spiritual ideas or beliefs onto the client, but help the client understand how they will be perceiving the whole spiritual realm in their own lens. I think that is what the basic idea of, spiritual psychology or transpersonal psychology in general is. And at the same time, considering the psychological aspects of their life and merging them slowly with the spiritual aspects as well, to have a holistic healing, and at the same time have a purpose in life, basically have a satisfaction in life, and they know where they want to be in their life, and answering all those existential questions at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, so my last question would be, if anyone wants to explore this sort of like the budding psychologists who are just entering in the mental health field, so how they can explore themselves, that whether they want to be a transpersonal psychotherapist or any other traditional psychotherapy modalities are which are available in Kolkata or India, anywhere.
Hmm. Right. So I'm not sure that, India do have any courses or any kind of license certifications towards being a transpersonal psychotherapist. But yeah, they can definitely go to abroad and pursue something like transpersonal psychotherapy as well. I'm pretty sure they would be having those courses. In India, it's generally a new term that people are getting aware about, and I think that is the reason why it could be difficult for them. But what I feel is that they can just simply start off with um, understanding what they have interest in, what are the aspects of the spirituality that they generally have interest in, right? They can start off with just reading resources from the universities abroad, or they can try some techniques, for example visualization, mindfulness, right, and understand that how much they are resonating with that. So it's a simple basic guide that if you cannot connect with the whole realm that you are practicing, I think it would be very hard for you to also let the client understand the same thing, right? So first you have to get interested in that in order to show that passion towards the same field for your client as well. So explore yourself and then understand that if this is what you want to help clients with as well, this is what this tool is, something that you would like to help clients with. So that is one thing we can always go forward with in for the beginner therapist who would like to start up and explore this area.
Okay, okay. At least I also got the clarity, because as you rightly mentioning, in India itself, people are not aware of what exactly is transpersonal psychotherapy. But I also got that idea what exactly it is. So thank you, Anamika. Thank you so much for coming up, for giving me your precious time. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart that you
Thank
came
you
up,
so
you
much.
talked about your own journey about being a transpersonal psychotherapist and how you are connecting with your clients, how you impose them, how you make them understand, how you psychoeducate them. So I hope all my viewers would also get the clarity about what exactly is transpersonal psychotherapy is. And again, I would like to thank Anamika that you agreed to give your valuable time to me. So thank you so much for Anamika for
Thank you
coming up.
so much, Anjali. It was lovely talking to you and speaking with you as well.
Thank you so much. I also loved hosting this session with Anamika. So thank you everyone. Stay safe, stay happy. Good night.